Welcome to another episode of Chris McBride Reviews. I got the lovely Elena Parks with me. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Beyond amazing. So we are reviewing Power Book 2, Season 2, Episode 7. What were your thoughts?
This episode was, of course, good, which I knew it would be. All of the stuff that had came out about it, I knew it was going to be good. But it was really good. We seen a lot of stuff from like Dante finally meeting Zeke. We seen Lorenzo and Monet. We seen Lorenzo and Drew and how he's doing. We started to see also a really good connection that was made this episode was Dante and Lorenzo working together. Because I thought when we were seeing previews from very, very beginning that they were going to be like enemies, which they still could be by the end of the season because there's still a few more episodes to go. But man, overall, it was a great episode. I thought it was really, really good. What were your thoughts on it?
It was pretty good. Hitting point for point though, without jumping all over, like just dealing with the Lorenzo and Dante thing. I thought that was an interesting dynamic. Now I do feel like that the only reason Dante is even doing business with Lorenzo is because Monet is playing her hand that way. We're not letting him see Zig. We're trying to cut Dante off and saying that she don't need them no more and all that. She just gonna try to work things out with her husband. If she wasn't doing it like that, I doubt that he would expose himself to Lorenzo. But also him exposing himself to Lorenzo cut off Monet because he said, I'll give you all my product. And therefore, Monet's not getting any of the product anymore. So again, I feel like him meeting Lorenzo plus him deciding to give all his business to Lorenzo and cutting Monet out was all about her playing with Zeke and making it seem like that Zeke's not his kid and making it seem like that he won't be able to see Zeke and honoring their agreement.
I think he hitting her where it hurts. And I think a lot of people underestimate people. They think because it's coming off a certain way. Like, I think she's definitely underestimating him just as a person. Like, oh, I'll tell you that we can do this one time, and then I'm going to change up all the plans. But it's like, you can't be mad when you set the play up like that, and he's playing the hand back. Like, so I think he's definitely hitting her where it hurts as far as money goes, and then definitely with her husband because she's definitely about to be in a very weird position. Because I just have a feeling that they are all going to be somewhere together and it's going to start to make sense. Or another thing too that is pertaining to the situation, I feel like maybe Diana gonna probably say something, like bring something to Lorenzo's attention for him to start looking at things a little differently. And I think that connection between who Dante and Mecca is, which they're the same person, I think that will get made very, very shortly, to be honest.
Or Monet.
For Monet, for everybody, for Lorenzo, for Diana, because she's already noticing somebody with the name D is texting her mother, Monet, because Monet still has this man's number under D. And, they know him as Mecca because he's the drug dealer or whatever. But I think the connection of who he really is going to come out very soon.
No, that's facts. That's facts. And then dealing with Kane wilding out throughout this episode. I mean, he the whole reason why the badge got planted. He's the whole reason Jabari got murdered. He's the whole reason that the cop got murdered.
He's the reason
He's the reason they looking at Tariq. And yet and still, he's still out here wilding. Then this episode, he pulled the gun on Davis McQueen, which is Tariq's lawyer, Method Man, and talking about. But they seem to be on the same page a little bit where Method Man told him, look, man, if I get Tariq out, then I'm getting you out. Tariq had a chance to mention your name, and he didn't do it. But he was also like, I know who you are, though, Kane. Tell your mama I said what up. So I think that is going to play out in future episodes as well, with everybody knowing who he is, him being really exposed, and him really relying on Davis McQueen and all that to get him off.
And the thing I do like about the whole Method Man's character, I think Davis McLean is a good character because he's a lawyer. He know how to talk his way out of stuff. So it's like, yeah, he's definitely giving him those tidbits of information that he needs to make sure that Kane kind of stays at bay. But Kane is just getting to be so dumb because it's like you pulled up on this lawyer and you act like people don't know who you are. I'm helped your family, dude. Like, what are you talking about? So I know exactly who you are. And I think Kane puts himself in very, very vulnerable situations that he shouldn't because he doesn't think through things. And I think that is also starting to show up more in this season. And I think everybody is like calling him out on it. Like, he always is referring to other people as, oh, so you're so smart, so do this, and you're so smart, do that. But it's like, man, and I think this is a good pivot into what we see between Drew and Kane this episode, because I think there was already some tension that was building up. Obviously, once Lorenzo got home, he was putting a lot of favoritism towards Drew taking over the business, and Kane was like, I thought you was gonna put me on, but you didn't. And I think that jealousy is still there from Kane. Anytime he see his brother show up in that kind of setting, like the drug dealing setting, he's very irritated. And when they started fighting in the living room, they fought. It was just, I think they reaching a breaking point as brothers. And I think it just, what we talked about last time with the last episode, furthering the divide between the family.
No, I agree. And then also switching to Drew now, it exposed that even though people will be like Kane is not the one that really think through things and can be he can't be trusted. Not, I think this is starting to highlight how Drew don't really think through things and how Drew can't really be trusted because everybody is saying, look, the only reason the cops even know your name is because of your gay boyfriend and all that stuff like that. So
True.
therefore, you should probably deal with that. And he keeps not wanting to deal with that or address it because remember how Everett, which is Drew's boyfriend, how he gave up the information wasn't even to real cops.
It was to the professors.
He gave it up to professors and all that. So you think if he get pressure by like real police in the interrogation room, he ain't gonna fold, or some real pressure get applied to him, he ain't gonna fold. Even though they showed him this episode, okay, I don't want to talk. When the cop came to his door and Drew had to run to the back and all that stuff like that.
It was only because Drew was there.
Yes, it was only because Drew was there, and it was only because the cop wasn't really applying pressure and all that. If the cop would have applied the same pressure to Everett as he applied it to Zeke, he would have folded for sure and told on Drew. So I think that is going to get exposed. And honestly, even though Drew probably won't be the one to pull the trigger, I think either the dad or Kane is going to end up ending Everett this season.
And I think you make a really good point when it comes to Drew, because Drew is like, I think everybody in the season has their vices of what makes them very distracted from the goal. And I think his is definitely Everett. Like, everybody's right. Like, dude, your boyfriend is not 10 toes down. Like, he's not, when it comes down to it, he's going to snitch. Like, period. He's already shown you he's going to do that. And it's like, I think you're absolutely right with that prediction. I definitely think that either Kane or his daddy is taking that boy out, because it's just like you done already gave up my name. They already know who I am. Like, this, no, like, they're going to know way more. And man, it was just crazy, because it's like, even though they fought and everything, and yes, it's definitely Kane's fault that badge is in there and that Tariq is going through all of this stuff, it's definitely like your boyfriend be putting up information too. So don't make it seem like it's just me. And now I think it's a good time to pivot to Tariq, because there's a lot going on with that boy, and we don't know if this man going to jail. We don't know if he's signing a deal. We don't know what is about to happen with him.
Nah, facts. Yeah, Tariq is definitely in an interesting situation, especially how the episode ended off with Kane basically telling them, look, our plug cut off, you know what I'm saying, any drugs that we can get, he giving it all to the pops, which is Lorenzo now, so you got to figure something out. And he like, bro, I got to pay my lawyer tomorrow. Like, what am I supposed to do? He's like, bro, there's a lot of money out there. There's more than one way to make it, so you got to go figure it out. So I think that's an interesting thing of seeing, is Tariq going to go back to robbing, or is he going to plotting and scheming? What is he going to do? Is he going to try to go get a loan from somebody? Reach out to an old friend. Maybe this is where we could see Tommy come back or something like that. I don't know. It's just like, because I do feel like Tommy's going to come back at this ghost thing at some point in time. But I'm just interested in seeing how that whole thing is going to play out. Then with him and Lauren, I think he's going to find out everything that she said. Now he knows to stay away from her. But based on the clips that they showed for the next episode, I think he's going to actually discover what she actually did, and that might put her at risk, and I'm interested in seeing how that's gonna play out.
I think that puts her at a big risk, because I mean, remember y'all, she had that wire on, so she was snitching like, baby, here's the information and this is what I have,
because she was the whole reason that they got the search warrant, because it was she made the connection that Tariq knew about the book, which gave them grounds to actually search Tariq's room, which is how they found the badge. So I think once he finds out that there would literally be no charges on him if it wasn't for that, it's gonna
do something. And I think too that, I mean, she got to take the stand. Lauren wasn't thinking, and I think this episode had a really great theme about choices being made for you in those moments where maybe you're not thinking, or you're not capable of seeing the bigger picture, and decisions being made for you for people's own personal gain. Like, Carrie, whatever in the world. We're not gonna touch on Carrie right this second. I would definitely want to go back to Tariq really quick though, because I think we're also starting to see some pressure. He mentions his father a couple times throughout this whole thing, and still trying to do the whole playing his dad down thing. First of all, if this was Ghost, it would not be going down this way. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Ghost would not be in a
Well, let
situation
him
like
tell
that.
it. His dad was just the most selfish, just the anti-father, just fam. Your mom is the one that said it was okay for you to sell drugs. Your father, the decisions he was trying to make for you was for you to not to have to do this life, or not to be
Yes.
in this life, to go to school, become a business dude, a lawyer, a doctor, something like that. You made the decision to actually sell drugs, referring to Tariq and all that. Then your
Mm-hmm.
mom actually taught you all that stuff, but yet and still he keep referring to like his father made all these bad decisions for him. And I'm like, fam.
And it's like Ghost was on his P's and Q's. You get what I'm saying? Now there would be times where he would slip, and I think we see some similarities with that in this episode. Like you mentioned, Tate was trying to give Ghost some information when, you know, Ghost was alive in his season, and he was kind of just like, I don't really want to hear it. Same thing with Lauren. I think she was really trying to tell him something valuable that he could have at least seen coming. But they be having those little moments. But I'm very interested now that his supply is cut off. What are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Ghost grew up in the streets. He knew a lot of different avenues to make money, and he set himself up to make money in different ways. And that's just something that we haven't seen Tariq do. And it could be, I mean, he's young, he's in college, but I'm just interested to see now that he's really in the thick of the street stuff, because this is street stuff now. Like, I'm wondering what he's going to do to set himself up to continue to thrive or continue to get that help that he needs.
Facts, because we also know he's going to run into issues when he starts selling drug again, because he's going to have an issue with Braden. Because
Yep.
Braden found out that about that picture that Tariq took and gave it to Tate and all that stuff. And when
Great
Tate
point.
approached his dad and said this might blow back on you and all that, Braden overheard that. So now I feel like that's going to cause even a greater rift between Tariq and Braden, because Braden's like, dude, come on, man, that's the one thing I asked you not to do, and that's the thing that you did. So, and Braden has already got a history of forgiving him, but after a certain point, I feel like, you know what I'm saying, he's gonna be like, dog, I can't trust you, like Tommy and Ghost.
And when it comes to certain things, it's just like we've seen patterns of like that's just not forgivable. And I think even though Braden makes it very clear he does not agree with all of his family's things and the things that they've done, their values and outlooks on life, that's his family nonetheless. And so he's like, now look, I don't like them. I don't like how they do things. I don't even like how they run things sometimes. But my family is my family, and I don't want you to involve them. So for Tariq to just blatantly kind of be like, I don't care, I'm going to go tell anyway, I think it does just show that same parallel that Tommy and Ghost had, because a Ghost would just go do stuff, and Tommy would be like, I told you, like, there's only a few things in this world that I'm not going to ride for you on, and this is one of them, and you just do it without caring. Like,
But the thing is, though, is like Ghost always had the people's closest to him best interest in mind. Now, even if they couldn't connect
That's
the
true.
dots, he would always make sure that the people closest to him was protected. They would always get in their feelings because they want to know every detail of the plan. But if they knew every detail of the plan, a lot of times they would ruin it or mess it up and do all these other things. So a lot of times people can't play their position or play their role, and that's when envy and jealousy and all that come in, because heavy as they head, that rails the crown. Everybody want to be the king, although it's way more pieces on the board. Everybody just wants to be the king, but not everybody wants to have the responsibility of the king. When things go wrong, they don't want to be in that position then. They only want to be in a position when it goes right. And I think Ghost was a good person that was in the position, played when things was going good and when things was going bad.
he
And it's like
definitely,
now Tariq is seeing, dang, things can go bad.
real bad.
What do I do when things go bad? And now I guess we're seeing how Ghost developed his smarts through Tariq and all that stuff like that.
Yeah,
Because Ghost was a full grown man when we got introduced to him in Power One.
that's a good point.
So now with Tariq being young, 20 years old, 19 years old, however he is in this particular series, it's like now I guess we get to see him grow into his wisdom, because good judgment is usually a result of experience, and experience a lot of times is the result of bad judgment.
That's true.
So it's like you got to learn to have good judgment. So I think that's more so what we're seeing with Tariq. But I don't think he's about to go to jail for this murder charge.
He not. Now, no. Now that I don't think is gonna happen. You know, I think it is a lot like his father, but you really do raise a good point, because it's like we seen Ghost as a developed man, like a man who had already been through a lot of stuff, and a man who had already been faced with a lot of adversities. And then we just seen him face adversities as an adult. So it's like a whole different thing. And I think with Tariq, he just has to have a little bit more to care about. He's young. He doesn't have the same stuff that Ghost had at top of mind. Like Ghost had a family. You get what I'm saying? Like he's like, it's people bigger than me. Right now, Tariq has his sister, and I think he's starting to see like, dang, I really got to make certain decisions and move a certain way, or that's gonna impact the people that I love, and I'm not gonna be able to see them no more. Like I think before, people look at friends like they're disposable. So he don't really care about putting Brayden in those awkward situations and stuff like that or anything like that. He's like, I gotta do what's best for me right now. And now that his family is like dispersed and his sisters everywhere, his grandma is needing rehab, Tasha's in the wind, like, I think he's starting to see with his sister, like, this, I'm in a position where I have to make all of these decisions and I gotta be making sure I'm making the right decision. So it's like I'm excited to see because he just continues to develop. I feel like into his father.
So you become who you resent. So I feel like
Mm-hmm.
all that resentment that he had towards his father is making him, because same way he lying to all his friends, lying to his girls, not being around his family. Because I mean, this is season 2. I mean, Yaz is just now getting involved and all that stuff like that. The whole season 1, he was basically his father. He wasn't being around his family. He wasn't really caring about any of that. He was focused literally on himself. He would do everything to make sure he was cool. He didn't really care about the things that was around him. Now switching to Monet. Season 1, Monet was like kind of one of my favorite people, or like one of my best characters that I like. But now this season, she's definitely transcending, or descending actually, to one of the least like characters in my opinion, especially how she's handling the Zeke situation. Monet
Oh,
seems very just self-centered, selfish, thinks the whole world revolves around her and her decisions. And even I like how Dante caught her out, where it's like using our son as like a retirement plan. He needs to know who his real father is. And I think that is really going to blow back on Monet. And that might cause Zeke to not even want to mess with her. Now, granted, when he found out it's his mom, that might feel some type of way, so he won't be able to cut her off completely. But that might drive him more towards Dante. And I think I'm interested in seeing if Monet gains her power again, or if she continues to crumble, because I think she might fall all the way so
she's
far.
falling in fast, honestly. And that's a great point to make because when she's faced with the opportunity to kind of correct a situation, we always see her choose the latter. It's not going to be corrected. I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm not choosing the way that I probably should choose to make sure that this goes the smoothest. I think we've seen that with Dante in regards to him meeting Zeke. Now, has she facilitated that herself? Because she's always talking about how she's in these power positions. That could have went a whole different way. But it's like now this man then walked up on Zeke like, I'm your dad. Here's a tattoo to prove it. And you got Zeke all flustered, and he be flustered. But for her to go to his room and be like, don't go see your mom because your dad's actually in jail for life. He's not in jail for life. He actually just walked up on him on a basketball court, and you're his mother. So it's like she's prolonging all of these things that I feel like if she would just take the time to think through what she's doing, could possibly not blow back on her as hard. But it's like Monet just, I mean, she out here. She's really out here. And she's getting that from a lot of different areas. Nobody's really messing with Monet because Monet, like you said, she's making all of these decisions just kind of crazy. And it's like people are not, I just don't foresee it going well, especially with Dante. I just don't think it's going to go well for her.
And now we can switch to predictions. One of the last scenes was Lorenzo and Monet laying in bed together. Lorenzo phones goes off by that one girl, let her know, yo, it's done. We killed them niggas. Her phone goes off by Dante, like, yo, can we talk? I think that was subliminal. I
Very.
think that the dad is gonna start messing with that lady. That's my prediction. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but I just feel like how they was both laying in bed and they both got them late secret messages and all that stuff. Granted, what his was about business. I think the fact that that Dante didn't text both of them, but the girl texted him and was like, "Yo, it's done." I think that something about to start
I
happening with that.
think they used her. Now I was feeling you. I don't know if he gonna mess with her. What I do think is gonna happen, I think they're showing us that parallel of how close to home Dante is. Dante got access to both of them right now. Like having the girl text them because she was there, so it's like she knew immediately. Like boom, it's done. Like I'm working for you because of Dante or whatever. Like I'm his soldier, but I'm working with you. And I think it just shows how close access he has to both Monet and her husband now, like, and which is a parallel we wouldn't have seen had Diana not got
I
her
think
dad home.
Dante set that up though. I think
No, he did.
Dante's no, I'm saying I think
Mm-hmm.
Dante is going to push the girl onto him because he already knows you're married to the girl that I really want. So if I can cause this girl or him interested in her, and then finesse it to the point where Monet finds out, and now I got y'all at odds and all the other stuff because I'm doing things for Monet that I know you don't want, and now I'm doing things for you that I know Monet don't want. So it's really Dante is already pinning them against each other subliminally. I think he's gonna turn up the notch. I wouldn't be surprised if he had that girl mess with Lorenzo and all that stuff like that.
I'm gonna predict a little different way. Now, I definitely think that Dante is about to use all of this to his advantage, but I think he's gonna make this blow up in Monet's face, and I think he's gonna use Lorenzo to do that. Not necessarily through the girl, but I think we already seen little tidbits of it. Like, let me give you access to all of this stuff so you can continue to make all these power moves in the street. Let me give you all of my product because I know that she needed it, but I'm not gonna give it to her anymore because she's playing games with me. And I think he's gonna set something up to where she knows, like, damn, this couldn't have been nobody but Dante. And like, I think that's where we're gonna start to see. Or you said something, I don't know if you were joking, but you were like, oh, she gonna come home and the plug gonna be sitting at the table. I could see Dante doing something like that, like gaining the trust of Lorenzo to the point where it's like, let me get comfortable so I can kind of come in the middle and sabotage everything. Like, let me get comfortable enough with you to come in and do all of this stuff. I don't know exactly how he gonna do it. I don't know if he gonna use the girl to do it. But I do think him even sending all of these people and giving him all this support randomly after he was just like, I got to trust you and all of this. I think that's finna turn into some like, let me get in this man's head. Like, let me really befriend him so I can really take his wife down because she playing with me because I love her and I'm trying to make our family work.
Nah, that's facts. And what do you predict happened with Tariq?
Man, with Tariq. Now listen, I know this for sure. In a crunch, he gonna make something shake. And I really feel like what he's probably going to end up doing is utilizing the people he knows can make something shake, like Kane. I think in the previews to the next one, it looks like they were doing something together. I'm not sure. But do I think that he is going to get the money to make sure that he's saved? For sure. He's definitely going to get that money to McLean. And I think I don't think he's going to go to jail. I do think, though, that he's going to have to go through some tremendous hoops next episode. Like, because he got a lot of different stuff to face. Lauren might be on the stand. We don't know. His sister just got taken off as an option. So it's like they don't have much of a defense. Do I think he's going to jail, though? No. I think Tariq going to make something shake in the nick of time. And he's going to pay his lawyer and get off magically like he always does.
Simon Stern will mess around and pop back up or something like that.
Boom.
We didn't talk about Carrie and all that stuff like that before we get into predictions. She's definitely wilding out. She had a lot of stuff go on this particular episode with the Method Man popping up, and he's like, look, I know you got something going on with this particular student. You lied about being her counsel when you're not even a lawyer anymore. We can take you to the ethics committee on that. The whole thing with her and Tate, I think Tate is gonna end up knocking that down before the end of the season.
Not knocking that down.
I just feel like he working his magic on her. He's getting closer and closer and closer. And that last little scene that they had together, he could have crashed damn near right there because he was already out a little open and all that stuff.
And Carrie do be on that type of time. Carrie be on that type of time.
She's a sex addict and all that. So I think I think that's going to end up playing out. She probably going to end up sleeping with Tate. I feel like the relationship with Method Man is probably going to, something else is going to happen with that. And it's going to have to do with Lauren. I don't know necessarily what, but I think this next episode, Tariq is going to find out specifically what Lauren did. And Carrie, I don't know if she's going to end up losing her job because how Tate did the whole feminist thing and sexist thing and all that. And the day was just like, I don't even want to deal with it. Fuck it. Like, that's how it is today. It's like, as soon as they start kicking all that shit, niggas just be like, all right, fuck it. Y'all got it. Fuck it. Like, nobody even want to argue that shit.
I think this is Carrie's introduction into politics because I don't think they're going to get rid of Carrie as a character in the Power universe. I think she gonna make her transferring onto Tate's show because we starting to see a different side of Carrie now. Carrie wasn't that bad the first season. She was crazy and she used to do some nut stuff, but this season, oh, she's a nut for sure. You're clowning this season for sure.
That's interesting.
Like, very, very much so. And I think how he got in her head with the politics thing, like, you know what I'm saying? He'd be like, I'll be down bad, but I'm a politician. And sometimes you just got to use what you got and spin it, and it'll put you in a different position. And we've seen that. Literally at the beginning of this season, this man's sleeping on his brother's couch. Now he's a professor at the school. Like,
I'm about to be back in the governor's office.
And be back in the governor's office.
Buddy, so
So it's like politicians do know how to spin and make themselves get back into a different position. And I think that's appealing to Carrie because Carrie got embarrassed at Jabari's little dinner thing. Like, everybody knows you slept with Zeke, so you're probably going to get
But
fired.
I think if the only way she gets into politics is she's sleeping with Tate. 'Cause that's the
That's
only way
true
Tate is really going to reveal all the game and all that
to her.
to her and everything like that. So I could see that though. That's pretty interesting. Y'all let us know what y'all think in the comments, what y'all agree with, what y'all disagree with, what y'all think is coming up. I'm interested in what the heck is gonna happen to Kane. Personally, part of me thought that he was gonna eventually get arrested for the murder this particular season.
Same.
But with how tied it is to Tariq and how Tariq is already admitted to Tamika that he killed the dude and he had to and all that, and that's not his lawyer or wasn't his counsel, I don't know if Kane is going to go down for it. I don't know if anybody's going to go down for it, or not necessarily if anybody, but I don't know if Kane and Tariq is going to go down for this particular murder. Obviously, Tariq can't go down for it because the whole show is about him, and I doubt season 3 starts off with him being in jail and got to get out. That would be a crazy plot twist because he's refusing to take any deals, and the prosecutor, just like the feds, if they offer you a deal, you turn it down, they coming after your head. So I think the pressure is definitely about to increase. The fact that he ain't got the money, don't really know what's about to happen with that. But y'all let us know what y'all agree with, what y'all disagree with, what y'all takeaways are, what y'all think is about to happen this particular next episode and the last 3 episodes of the particular season, 8, 9, and 10. Until the meantime, we are. Well, did you have any closing thoughts? Anything you want to say?
No. I think you made some really good points. I'm excited to see what the next episode brings because it's like we don't know what Tariq finna do. I'm excited to see what happens with Tariq specifically because this is getting intense.
It is getting interesting. Then we got the Tommy series that's starting in a couple of weeks on February 6th, and we will definitely be going from episode 1. We'll probably do a predictions episode based on the trailer and all that stuff like that, even before it starts, just to see, you know what I'm saying, if we can guess properly what it's going to be on. And then definitely every episode we're going to be dropping a video. So like, comment, subscribe. Definitely appreciate y'all. Until the next time, we out. Peace.